In this video I want to talk about the apply function and a modern alternative to this apply function. So let's first take a look at the example here. So I have here a simple sum function, right, that takes in any number of parameters. That's what this triple dot signifies. And what we're doing here is just taking the sum and summing every single element of this array, right? So if I try to call this sum of, let's say, 1, 4, and 10, and console log the result, because otherwise we don't know what that is. And if I run this, you'll notice I get 15, because 1 plus 4 plus 10 is 15. So that works really nice. Now, what happens if instead you have the numbers individually, you actually have an array of any number of parameters. So if I have here let array equals 1, 4, and 10. How do you actually pass in these parameters to the function? Because if I give the function the array itself and run this, you'll notice I get a very peculiar result. And I leave that to you to figure out why we get this result. But all in all, it's not right. So we cannot just pass the array and it's going to know how to destructure the array. In the past, we would be using the apply function here. So what the apply function would do is, instead of just calling sum, we would do sum.apply. And in here we have to pass in, first is the this parameter, but because we don't care about it, we can just pass null or something. And the second parameter is the arguments array. So here we can give it an array that represents all the arguments. In our case, our array, right? And this guy, this apply function, would actually call the function using the given this parameter and the given array of arguments, right? So if I try to run this now, you'll notice I get 15. So that's the right answer. Okay, but this is in the past. This is when we didn't have destructuring. Now we do, and we can actually make use of it. If you don't know what destructuring is, take a look at the video up top. I have made a video on it. All right, so what we can do is use destructuring here instead of the apply call to just call the function, but not just with the array. We have to tell it to destructure the array. So something like this. And what that will do is, instead of passing the array as an array, it would take a look at every element and passing it as if we were passing it with a comma. So this would actually, in this case, be equivalent to array of 0, array of 1, and array of 2, right? And if the array was larger than 3 elements, it would go on as many elements as it has. So that's how this destructuring syntax works, right? So now if we try to run this, if I clear the screen, you'll notice we get 15, and that is correct. So how did we actually get the result? Well, first we started with an array, all right? Then we passed the array using the destructuring syntax, and that would pass it like we would be passing it with a comma in between every single element of the array, right? So for the function itself, when we are calling it, it's like passing every single parameter individually. And here what it said, this syntax says, okay, gather every single argument you've passed to me and put it in the A array, and then iterate over it, and then sum everything. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And that's about it for this video. Remember, if you have to use apply, take a look at destructuring, see if it's available for your environment you're working with, and use that if you can. It's a much modern and easier to read version. Remember, if we do apply of null and then the array, it's really difficult to read unless you actually know what apply does, right? In this case, you kind of know destructuring, so it's simple as that. Leave the questions in the comments below or inside our Discord server. We have an invitation in the description down below, and see you next time. Take care. Bye.